3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1106. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoyed my work and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome. Thank you very much for your support in helping me reach my goal of 300 subscribers, and as well as your presence during this reading. So, I want to talk about how the devil feels significant. And now I just felt connected to the name Lothario, which you know where that name comes from if you play Sims. And the character with the last name Lothario, the avatar, the person in the game, they are not, they're non-committal. They're romantic, but, they're not as committed as like marriage wouldn't be their thing, probably kids. This could represent somebody in your life who comes off as non-committal in some way. Somehow it feels like you want a shared future with somebody, and maybe the other person feels the same way, maybe not, but this person, they don't have the same goals. Like there's a misalignment here. Maybe there's fundamental things here that just don't work together. With the devil here feeling significant, the devil is about, temptation, feeling trapped. I'm really feeling, more drawn to the temptation. Maybe they're a good-looking person. That's how the Lothario character is as well in the Sims game. And, well, that's how he's supposed to be. Everybody has their preferences. But, yeah, this person, whether there's real feelings here or not, that's for you to decide. I just feel like there's a significant relationship here, especially because I was about to see the number 222, which I do think can be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation. I just think there's somebody here that needs to be talked about, or some sort of relationship. And it feels a lot more romantic than, familial or platonic or anything like that. But that message is only there for who it resonates for, so you can keep watching if you'd like to see if this reading is meant for you or not. Only take what resonates. Not everything has to resonate. All that matters is that you pay attention to what does resonate. Well, let's move into interpreting the number 1106 now. And starting with the number 1, I do each number at a time if you didn't already know. The number 1 is about trusting and believing in yourself. Trust your intuition, believe in your strength. What do you really feel called to do here? And, is there someone or something that you need to walk away from, or that you might need to walk away from? Or is there some other way that you will need to use your strength? Let me close this window for a second, because there's a lawnmower. And I don't want it to be too distracting. Just 1 second. It's better. Let me get some water real quick. As I was saying, number 1 is about trusting and believing in yourself, having trust and faith in yourself, and ultimately in the universe, your environment, this reality, whatever higher power you believe in. And there are 2 1s, so this message is particularly strong, and it will be for a little while in these readings in general that I do on my channel. Moving on to the number 0. This number can be a call for you to pay attention to certain themes or patterns, maybe connect the dots in some way. There could be some spiritual communication that you're receiving, or things are aligning for you in an interesting way that might be hard to ignore, or that just, there's a pattern here. So pay attention. The number 0 can also be about knowing when to put yourself first, when to respect yourself, your needs, your own desires, for a specific message for somebody. Even though it might be hard to walk away, there doesn't have to be bad blood here. You do deserve to have a partner or a romantic relationship that aligns with what you want in life. There could be a warning here to not try to change someone, or to not let someone try to change you. I'm seeing the Lovers card in my mind's eye, and the Lovers card has the number 6 on it, so I'm actually going to go ahead and move into interpreting the number 6 from 1106. The Lovers can be any kind of commitment, but an obvious one is a romantic relationship. And if it's not a romantic relationship, whoever or whatever this could be about, should you stay? Should you go? Is it meant to be? Is it what you deserve? What you want? What you need? Number 6 is about a choice. So yeah, the Lover's card can be a commitment card, and I see the number 6 as a choice between self-love and self-destruction, self-care and self-hate. So if you feel like you are feeling called to make a decision right now, to walk away from something or someone, or to stay, or to keep investing in someone or something, think about it. Really put weight into what you deserve. I'm feeling the energy of justice. You deserve a fair relationship too. A just, honest relationship. Now this is more of a message for someone who feels like they're in a romantic situation where the person, they don't really seem to be taking things as seriously as you deserve. But on the other hand, there could be another situation for somebody else where this person is taking you seriously, but things just don't align. Just something does not fit here, something is not right, something is not meant to be. And again, this doesn't have to be a person with a relationship, it could be any situation. Of course, it has to resonate, and make sense for you and your intuition. Thinking back to a choice, the number 222 is also about choices and prioritizing what means the most to you. And something that should mean the most to you is your future, and sharing that with somebody who sees the same future as you do. And you may not even know that this person doesn't share the same future as you do, because they're not communicating as much, or they're intentionally withholding information. For somebody here, it may be really important to question somebody's intentions, or maybe even your own intentions. But only take that if it resonates. Like I said, this can be different. Even if it's about love in particular, it could be different kinds of love situations that need the same messages, or at least the same video to get this, the messages out that you need. But adding up these numbers, 1 + 1 is 2. Well, before I do that, actually, the number 15, talking about the devil earlier, the number 15 is on the devil card. 1 + 5 is 6. So you're going to choose freedom, or the devil, feeling chained or bound or trapped in a situation that just isn't right for you, isn't meant for you, and maybe even isn't fair to you. There could be some sort of fear here holding you back from walking away. Maybe it's the fear of loss, or feeling like this could be an uncomfortable sacrifice. But maybe it's the fear of loss, or the fear of never finding what really aligns with you. And, I really encourage you to take a deeper look at those fears and to figure out how to not let them hold you back, because a fear is only potential just as much as hope is. I like to say that even though bad and scary things can come from the unknown, so do surprises and miracles. So you have to let yourself be open-minded and to lean more on the optimistic side. There's nothing wrong with being realistic, but let yourself have hope if that's what you need. No matter what degree you need that hope, the faith, the trust. Those powerful messages that I was talking about before with the number 1. Did I already add up these numbers? I don't think I did. Sometimes I get so lost in the messages that I forget where I'm at. But see the number 122 on the timer, which is about how change starts with you. Maybe there is a story to come out of this situation. Share with someone or many people to inspire them to make positive change, maybe in the way that you feel called to, even if it might not feel so positive at first. Maybe someone out there will also be making an uncomfortable sacrifice. It could even be this person in this relationship with you, or this situation. Or, it could be bigger and deeper than that, where you feel called to share your story to a crowd or something. It really depends on how painful or challenging the situation is. I do believe that pain is a reflection of potential, and it's something that I believe should inspire us and make us wiser and stronger instead of more ignorant and weak. And as I say with a lot of words, ignorance to me is a neutral word. It is not something, we all can be ignorant in our own ways. It's not something to be ashamed of or to feel insulted or threatened by. It's something to acknowledge. Just to acknowledge something for what it is. I just want to share that. It doesn't have to matter to you. But, just to, I don't know, maybe whoever needs to hear my perspective. Maybe someone will need to hear your perspective. But, yeah. 1 plus 1. Let's go ahead and add up these numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 0 is still 2, plus 6 is 8. Number 6 can be about lost and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. It's very clear here that there's someone or something that you have to walk away from, and it's more fair to you to walk away. But it might be difficult, and that's where it's important for you to trust that what is lost will be replaced, to let yourself be a little more optimistic. Don't let yourself feel trapped in the unknown. What's the worst thing that could happen if it's the worst possible outcome? Before I forget, 321, I saw the number 321 and 345. That's 2 signs to trust that everything happens for a reason. This loss, this change, no matter how difficult, is happening for a reason. And I feel like the more difficult it is, the more meaningful it is. So allow yourself to heal and become wiser and stronger from this situation, not just in a practical sense, but also in a spiritual sense. What soulful wisdom, could you benefit from in this situation or this relationship? I just saw the number 444 on the timer, and I associate the number 4 with ancestors and stability. I did forget to mention, I'm remembering anyway during this reading, but I already kind of felt before I started this reading that ancestors would be a significant energy or topic, just because I was studying Italian before this, and I study that language so as part of like a spiritual reason, because whenever I feel or hear spiritual or Italian words or phrases coming from my own ancestors, and it can be a message from my ancestors to somebody else's ancestors. just the fact that it's in Italian, I know that it's coming from ancestors, you know, just to help me discern a little bit better. But yeah, 444, stability and ancestors. You do deserve stability in your life, and I feel like if you move forward with this relationship or this situation, I just think you're going to be disappointed. Like, maybe it would be better to let yourself be disappointed now, and let yourself grieve and walk away, than to wait it out and to make the grieving more, wait to make the grieving more intense, because you'll have invested more time and energy and everything. Your ancestors are definitely supporting you here, especially if it's about love in any context. Loving yourself or loving somebody else. Because they believe that you need and deserve love from yourself and others to have a stable reality that feels secure and safe. For sure. So as you can see, there are 2 decks of cards on the table. We have the Secrets of Tarot cards, which I really want to use. I felt connected to the Magical Dogs Tarot. I'm feeling really connected to it right now. And like, I really want to use these ones because I like using them, but I actually do feel called to switch them for this reading as badly as I want to use the other ones. Just because I like to look at them. And I don't use them as much as I'd like to. So maybe see what happens, but this is the Magical Dogs Tarot here, and I'm going to use these tarot cards to draw out a few cards to kind of look at the past and the present and the future. And I mean, obviously for somebody, this is going to be about a relationship. Just got halted by my thoughts right now. I just felt connected to the word pensieri, which means thoughts in Italian. Maybe there's something significant here about your own thoughts. What are you thinking about right now with this situation or relationship? Really pay attention if you see the number 2. That could be a sign about this situation and a call for you to create more peace and balance within yourself, and to really be wise about the choices that you are making right now. Anyways, these cards over here are index cards that I wrote on with things that I felt called to write on them, and I'm just going to draw one of those after I draw a few of these cards, these tarot cards with the past, present, and the future, just to see what randomness comes out, you know. Sometimes, if you can't tell, I like to be a little bit random in readings. So, starting with the first card, looking at the past. I have the 2 of Wands. I did say the number 2 could be significant. This is, 2 of Wands. I almost got confused about which suit it was. But, yeah, as I said already, the number 2 can be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation. It can be about, you know, creating peace and balance within yourself by letting go of something or someone. And, you know, just being wise about your choices at this time. Speaking of choice, notice how this dog is looking at 2 choices, 2 paths. That this makes so much sense here. Which path do you want to take? And be wise about the path you want to take. And now I'm seeing, if you watched the ad at the end of my video, don't worry about this if it doesn't resonate, but if you watched an ad at the end of my video and you saw a picture of 2 arrows, one said this way and that way, maybe that could be significant for you for some reason. Maybe, you know, whenever I'm ready to take forms again, request forms for private sessions, maybe we could do that. But hey, only if you feel called to. I'm only, you know, talking about it because I saw the ad. I've never had that happen before, so that's pretty interesting. But it seems like in the past, there was some sort of decision. Maybe, you know, you're having to make another decision now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the present here with another card. What's happening right now following this decision? We have the Fire Guardian, as it's called in this deck, but it is the Knight of Wands. I was feeling connected to the word king. The Knight of Wands here is a very passionate person, but they can also come across as more immature. I'm actually noticing how small this dog looks here, and you know, adult dogs can be that big, but this just really gives me a feeling of inner child. Right now, there's something significant about someone here who's feeling passionate. It could be you, it could be someone else, and maybe you're reflecting on these feelings. Someone else could be reflecting on these feelings. You both could be reflecting on these feelings. Let's take a look at the future now. We have the Mage in reverse, or it's also called the Magician. The Magician brings a sense of powerlessness. Someone here could be feeling powerless, you or somebody else, to their own passion. You know, to controlling, well, just to accepting actually that there's something or many things not within their control. There could definitely be frustration in this card, because in reverse, the Knight of Wands can be a very frustrated card. There's still passion here, but it's like, it's passion that's hard to control. And I am noticing that this is upright instead of being in reverse, where I would interpret it as a frustration, but you know, I kind of get a more general feeling with this being upright. It doesn't really matter, you know, it could be the upside down or upright interpretation. I'm really curious about this decision and how it relates to this present moment of passion. Maybe this decision could have been like accepting something, or it just feels like there was something that was done or a decision that was made that, how do I say this? I wouldn't, maybe you could regret it, or it's just like, maybe someone here was too eager, excited about an opportunity. It doesn't necessarily have to be regret, but it feels like there was an opportunity accepted that just doesn't align as much as you thought it would. Let's go ahead and get one of these index cards here to see what randomness is going to come out for you, and hopefully we can get a lot more clarity, well, as much as we can, with this decision and this passion, especially with this feeling of powerlessness. It's like there's so much passion that you or somebody else feels powerless. Like, it's really hard to walk away. And I just saw number 3, 4, 5. I think I already talked about like 3, 4, 5 earlier, being about trusting that everything happens for a reason. The card that I pulled and fell on the floor is, I'm really curious about our future. So maybe there's a need here to talk about the future. Or this card is just confirmation that there's a misalignment with future goals. I am kind of feeling a little bit of a reading or an energy about how over time, like, this doesn't have to be goodbye forever. You know, like, maybe there needs to be time spent apart, or there needs to be more boundaries, like instead of being lovers, maybe just be friends. That kind of thing. Overall, this reading has very much been about trusting and believing in yourself, paying attention to the patterns, the recurring themes, you know, really, you know, encouraging you to choose self-love, to make a decision that reflects your worth and what you deserve. There is a decision here that was made in the past, or an opportunity that was accepted. It seems to be more in like a planning phase. Or it's just not that, it feels early on. That's what I'm trying to say. And now there's all this passion, and it's like, what do I do with it? Do I keep investing here and potentially be disappointed if that resonates for you? Or something else. I just got distracted by the idea, some idea that I forgot about. I hate when that happens, because I have ADHD and a million thoughts running in my mind, but I do trust that if I forget something, it happens for a reason. Maybe I just wasn't supposed to say it. I did forget to say, though, that the Mage or the Magician card has number 1 on it, and as I said before and made very clear at this point, trust and believe in yourself. What do you feel called to do right now? Just reflect on these feelings and make sure that, you know, you're more focused on your intuition and what feels right rather than your fear and, you know, doing what feels safe emotionally. You know, like, or mentally, like, giving in to the fear. Don't give in to the fear. Reflect on these feelings and remember the power that you really do have. You're not stuck. You're not trapped. There is always a way out. The answer is just in what you feel. So just reflect on it and trust yourself, and that, you know, you will know what to do whenever you understand how you actually feel.